How to keep squirrels from eating pumpkins. Pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns are quintessential autumn decorations, but unfortunately, many squirrels find these decorative vegetables just as appealing. If you don't take precautions, your outdoor pumpkins might end up as a tasty snack for these furry backyard critters. Here are a few measures you can take to spare your pumpkins from suffering such a fate. Method 1: Repelling with scent and taste. 1. Spray with commercial squirrel repellent. Apply a thorough coat of repellent to all sides of the pumpkin according to label instructions. You may need to reapply the repellent every few days, especially after the rain. Many repellents are non-toxic since they are formulated to drive squirrels away rather than kill them. Most deer repellents will also be effective since squirrels and deers are driven off by many of the same scents. Look specifically for a repellent with large amounts of putrescent whole egg solids. This is, essentially, rotten eggs. Squirrels typically hate the smell of rotten eggs. Be aware that many repellents can have a strong odor, especially immediately after application. The smell tends to dissipate as the spray dries, but in the meantime, you may need to place the pumpkin away from the house. 2. Place the pumpkin on a blanket of dog hair. The animosity between squirrel and dog is mutual, and many squirrels will stay away from an area if they smell a dog. Dog hair is also effective at repelling deer. Cat hair may have a similar effect on squirrels, since larger cats can pose a threat to squirrels. It is best to use pet hair rather than pet waste. Cat waste is especially dangerous to use since it is a source of toxoplasmosis, a parasitic infection that can cause serious health concerns for pregnant women and people with immune deficiencies. 3. Use hot pepper or hot sauce. Applying a coat of liquefied hot pepper, hot sauce, or powdered cayenne pepper can give the squirrels in your neighborhood a shock once they take a sniff or nibble. Blend the hottest peppers you can find with enough water to form a liquid. Add a drop of dish soap and a drop of vegetable oil to help the solution stick and pour it into a spray bottle. Coat the pumpkin every few days with this solution to drive squirrels away. Rub a coat of commercial hot sauce over all sides of the pumpkin. You may need to reapply the sauce after a few days or after the rain, but the hot oils have a way of penetrating the skin and soaking into the flesh of the pumpkin. Create a scent barrier around your pumpkin by sprinkling powdered cayenne pepper around it. You can also sprinkle the pepper on top of the pumpkin for added effect. Always wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water after handling hot peppers. Otherwise, you may irritate your skin or eyes. 4. Surround the pumpkin with vinegar. Pour a little white distilled vinegar around your pumpkin. The potent smell of vinegar can be overpowering to squirrels since these critters have more sensitive noses than humans. Vinegar is also effective at repelling ants and other insects. You can also wipe the surface of the pumpkin down with a vinegar-soaked rag, but it is best to avoid letting large amounts of vinegar sit on the pumpkin's surface. The acidic properties of vinegar can end up damaging your pumpkin when used in large quantities. 5. Try eucalyptus oil. Dab the eucalyptus oil onto the pumpkin's surface with a cotton ball or spray diluted eucalyptus oil onto the pumpkin with a spray bottle. In a spray bottle, combine 10 parts water with 1 part eucalyptus oil. Add a drop of cooking oil and a drop of liquid dish soap to help the solution stick before spraying it over all sides of the pumpkin. Note that eucalyptus oil will need to be reapplied every few days. Peppermint oil can also be effective. Both essential oils have potent odors that might be enough to deter squirrels from approaching. Method 2: Repelling with texture and taste. 1. Cover the pumpkin with petroleum jelly. Apply a heavy coat of petroleum jelly over all areas of the pumpkin, focusing on spots with exposed flesh. A thick coat is better than a thin coat. As the theory goes, squirrels do not like the sticky texture of petroleum jelly, so the stickier you make the surface, the better. You could also use a medicinal, petroleum jelly-based vapor rub. These rubs usually have a potent odor, which can serve as a further deterrent for squirrels and other critters. Petroleum jelly will usually stick to the pumpkin even after the rain, and it may even last for the duration of the season. Check the pumpkin periodically, however, just to make sure that it is not in need of another coat. 2. Apply lacquer spray. Coat all sides of your pumpkin with lacquer spray. Let dry until hard. The spray will create a crunchy texture on the surface of the pumpkin. This might be unpleasant for some squirrels, but not for all. In order to work at all, the spray needs to be applied to all parts of the pumpkin, especially any exposed portions. If the squirrels sense any soft areas, they will still chew the pumpkin up. A lacquer spray with a potent odor may be more effective than one that dries odorless. 3. Spray the pumpkin with hairspray. Thoroughly coat all sides of the pumpkin with hairspray, focusing on areas of exposed flesh. A thicker coat is better than a thin coat because it will be stickier. The sticky texture of the hairspray is what turns away many squirrels. Note that you will need to reapply hairspray every day or two, especially after the rain. It can get worn off easily, and once it wears away, there will be nothing left to protect your pumpkin from furry menaces. Method 3. Additional tactics. 1. Place an owl statue nearby. Fix an owl statue next to or behind the pumpkin. Owl statues can also be placed along the perimeter of your yard or along fences and railings to keep squirrels away in general. You could also try another statue made to look like another predator, such as a dog or fox. Just make sure that it is a natural predator a squirrel might recognize. 2. Frighten them off with motion-activated devices. Place a motion-activated sprinkler or air blaster next to the pumpkin. A motion-activated sprinkler will shoot a quick spurt of water at the squirrel when it crosses the path of the sensor. A motion-activated air blaster will shoot a quick blast of air at the squirrel after the critter steps near the sensor. Neither mechanism has enough force behind it to seriously injure the squirrel, but it should startle most of them away. 3. Lure them away with something more appetizing. If all else fails, compromise with the enemy by placing a more delectable food source on the other side of the yard, away from the pumpkin. You could scoop out the pumpkin guts or cut up a small sugar pumpkin. You could also spread out birdseed or nuts on the far side of the yard. Peanut butter smeared onto bread crusts, soda crackers, or apple slices can also work. Things. Squirrel repellent. Dog hair. Hot pepper or hot sauce. Vinegar. Eucalyptus or peppermint oil. Spray bottle. Cotton ball. Petroleum jelly. Lacquer spray. Hairspray. Owl statue. Motion-activated repellent. Nuts, peanut butter, or other treats.